This is CNR Extra on City TV. It's live from our studios at number 5, Ola Hansen Lane in Tesano here in Accra. My name is Lee Latte. Let's take the headlines. Three missing private security guards yet to be identified following recent killings in Wa.
The current situation is that the police is yet to locate and identify 3 other.
Also coming up, former President John Dramani Mahama announces he will scrap the payment of ex gratia to Article 71 public office holders if he wins the next elections.
We'll continue and bring to conclusion the constitutional review process that was begun by the late President Atta Mills, which will include a review of the controversial Article 71.
Still on CNR Extra, users of liquefied petroleum gas lament the continuous hike in prices following an increase this week.
First, no, me tobe 100 cedis to me the entry by a month, but he said 200 cedis per. Gas is there, and crowd.
Much later, Tamale Teaching Hospital dismisses reports of oxygen shortage at the facility.
The good thing is that our supplier is able to restore the power challenges, and so everything is normal.
So we have these stories and many others here on CNR Extra. If you do stay with us for the next 60 minutes, my name is Lee Latte. The show, as always, is an interactive one. Don't miss out on any of the conversations. Share your thoughts, views, and comments with us via WhatsApp on 0204440733. Alternatively, you can go onto any of our social media platforms. You are streaming in there. Leave your comments in the comment section, and then we will read them out to the rest of the world. In studio today with me is my colleague Jude Mensah Duncan. Jude, it's Friday actually, and I can see you are prepared for the weekend ahead. And you're also in the Heritage Month. So,
yeah, definitely.
So you are in your. This is how do you call it?
This this is a fugu.
This is the fugu.
I mean,
so you are representing the people in the northern region.
Definitely, it's a season of Make It Ghana, where we are looking at tourism, we are looking
really
at
nice
investments, and we are trying to make sure that people get a sense of belonging and a sense that indeed everything made in Ghana is durable and
so you are making it Ghana.
We are making it
the
Ghana.
theme for this year's Heritage Month here at
Exactly.
City FM and City TV. But the show today takes us for Parliament security guards in some parts of the Upper West region, specifically Wa. Yesterday, when he appeared before Parliament, he gave an update and said that 3 of these private security guards are yet to be identified.
The Ministry for the Interior says 3 missing persons as private security guards are yet to be identified following the recent Wa killings. About 10 private security men were killed by unknown assailants in Wa last year, which led to the arrest of 27 suspects in connection with of investigations into the serial killings. The Minister for the Interior, Ambrose Derry, said efforts were underway to arrest the other perpetrators of the heinous act. Our correspondent in Parliament is Ni Ayikwe Okai.
Answering questions on the floor of Parliament, the Minister of Interior, Ambrose Derry, provided an update on investigations into the Wa serial killings, and he announced that 3 private security guards are yet to be identified by the police. However, efforts are underway to ensure that all the perpetrators of the heinous crime are brought to book.
A special intelligence-led investigation that arrest of 27 suspected persons in connection with the kidnap murder of the 5 security guards in September 2022. Right Honorable Speaker, out of the number arrested, 8 suspects have been discharged per the Attorney General's advice. 15 suspects are on court bail, awaiting the Attorney General's report or advice. Other missing security guards, namely Alasan Yaya, age 53, Sanwini Camilos, 42, and Dadigbe Kwame, age 57. The 3 were reported missing between September and October 2022. No arrest has been made in respect of the said 3 missing persons. Now, Honorable Speaker, the police has initiated a vigorous education campaign within the communities to sensitize the citizenry, mostly the youth, on security tips concerning serial killers and kidnappers. Currently, Mr. Speaker, there are about 300 operational policemen on the ground performing day and night mobile and foot patrols, including motor patrols. Police intelligence is also working around the clock for clues that will lead to the arrest of the perpetrators.
Following the opposition to the new proposed constitutional instrument by the Electoral Commission that is seeking to use the Ghana card as the source document for registration onto the voters' register for the upcoming general elections by the minority, the majority in Parliament has also addressed the media on Thursday, March 2, 2023, indicating that the new policy by the election
alleges that resorting to only the Ghana card as proof of citizenship would curtail the right of citizens to vote. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? When the exercise of proof of citizenship to be registered began, the Electoral Commission allowed the use of the following: birth certificates, baptismal certificates, driver's license, passports, the guarantor system, national health insurance cards. You are aware of that. Now today, one after the other, the Commission has peeled off some of these instruments of identity as Ghanaians to be registered. So the performance of the functions does not necessarily mean that you are eternally adding to. You also improving the establishment of your citizenship. You are improving and sanitizing and cleaning the system. So it's not just merely adding to the list, which is the function of the Electoral Commission. So the question to ask is, so when the baptismal certificate was taken off, did it serve as a restraint on citizens' right to register to vote? Is that the case? When driver's license was taken off, it served as a restraint on citizens' right to register to vote. Is that the case? When birth certificate was taken off, that was also a restraint. Is that the understanding of our colleagues? When health insurance was struck down by the Supreme Court, that also amounted to a restraint on the right of citizens to vote.
The group also accused the minority of habitually attacking heads of institutions appointed by President Akufo-Addo. Hence, the EC boss, Jean Mensah, is no exception.
That they have no faith in the EC. I think it's the trademark of my colleagues, unfortunately. That any institution whose heads were not appointed under the NDC, they turn around to bastardize it. And start with the Electoral Commission. They went to the police, bastardizing them. the judiciary, the Supreme Court, bastardizing them because appointments had been made by the current as a country. Wild that the Chief Justice had come here to bribe some members of parliament. Eventually, the Speaker had to plead with the Chief Justice that on behalf of that member, that what he did was unsubstantiated, and he pleaded with him for forgiveness. Is that the way to grow institutions in this country? Is that the way to grow institutions? The MPP had no hand in the appointment of Dr. Aferijan. We worked with him. Or shall also say, we worked with him, with her and her team. But now that, no thanks to the quarrel that ensued amongst the commissioners at the instance of a committee that probed into the activities and the conduct of affairs within the EC, they had to be changed, and they were changed the very day then the attacks started on the EC.
Reporting from Parliament, my name is Ni Ayukwe Okine for City News.
Well, so that bizarre incident from the Upper West region was one that many have said that it was a wake-up call for, the police and other security agencies in that part of the country, because some private security guards were missing. It was alleged that they were killed. Some persons were arrested for the heinous crime. Yesterday, when the sector minister, that's Ambrose Derry, went to Parliament to provide an private guards are yet to be found. Yeah. And so it will only call for proper investigations on the side of the police to ensure that these persons are located. And if they are located, what is their current state? And it also brings to mind the issue of intelligence gathering as far as the issue is concerned. Because I remember quite last year when the issue broke out, a lot of people were actually raising some concerns about the state of security in the Upper West region. We know that investigations have also commenced, but it's quite troubling to have the minister announce at this point in time that some of these persons are yet to be found.
I mean, it's troubling. I totally. For me, I'm more concerned about the harm this seeks to do to the reputation of the town. If you understand why, you get that it's become like a transportational hub for the Upper West region, with major roads leading to places like Tumu, Hamile, and other neighboring towns, and even links other cities. So you get a lot of people using the road to some of these other remote areas in the north. So for me, and it's become a very bricks economic with which people have in the security.
Exactly, because the security agency is actually mandated to protect, citizens, and if these things are happening, people will be concerned about their own safety, because you know how volatile the Upper West region is with this threat of, violent extremism, and then also terrorism and all that. We don't want the place to be a fertile ground for, some of these, criminals to perpetrate their activities in there. And so for me, like we have always said on this show, that investigations must be broadened, and then the intelligence gathering must be something that the police must also, prioritize, because we cannot be losing lives in such a manner. Yeah. And if people
involve security people, so these are people who ordinarily would know how to even protect themselves and stuff like that. So you can imagine how exposed the ordinary person is. So I agree with you. Call on security agencies. In September last year, we read that 305 official got missing, and another one got killed. So bringing the number to 10. And now 3 of them have been reported to be still missing. So it doesn't augur well for the image of the place. It goes a long way to affect the even investments. The investor confidence in the area will be significantly affected. So we want to call on the relevant security agencies. I mean, the Regional Coordinating Council. In all of this, I've not heard much from them. I expect them to take this up and ensure that some of these things are addressed as quickly as possible.
Ambusdere has been assuring that all will be done to ensure that this particular issue is brought to its, final moment. But away from that, yesterday, former President John Dramani Mahama officially launched his presidential campaign. He took it to the Volta region. He did that at the City Auditorium of the University of Health and Allied Sciences. Yesterday, when he spoke in his address, he took a dig at the governing New Patriotic Party, touted his achievement as former president. But one thing he said that has struck many is the fact that he wants to scrap the payment of ex gratia to Article 71 holders. Here's more.
And former President John Dramani Mahama says the next NDC administration under his leadership will scrap the payment of ex gratia to Article 71 public office holders. Members of the president said this, coupled with a lean and efficient government, will help ease the burden on the public purse. Mr. Mahama was speaking at the launch of his campaign to lead the NDC as flag bearer at the University of Health and Allied Sciences in Ho in the Volta region, from where correspondent Benjamin Aklama reports.
Now, the former President John Dramani Mahama on Thursday, March 2, 2023, launched his campaign to lead the NDC to the 2024 polls as flag bearer at the City Auditorium of the University of Health and Allied Sciences in Ho. Convener of the John Mahama campaign team, Joshua Alabi, in his address to the delegates, said John Mahama is a modest yet competent builder the country needs crucially now.
Who is not only a proactive leader, but a nation builder who is also very modest. Affable. Ladies and gentlemen, in this mind, our community, as a party and as a country, to have such a person in the NDC today. An affable, good listener, and a unified.
Professor Alabi also said the current economic situation requires an experienced, tried and tested hand to take over the affairs of state. This hand, he says, is that of John Dramani Mahama.
For the past 6 years, the good have seen a clear difference between what we did and what the current government is doing. Congress, they are not just asking for the NDC to come back to power, but the return of experience, the return of experience. In this great house of today, experience is a key word.
The dean of the regional chairman of the NDC, who doubles as the chairman of the NDC in the OT region, charged the delegates not to vote for any flag-bearer candidate who has not first contested and won a parliamentary seat for the NDC.
In NDC, God has given us a line to follow. If you have never been an MP before, you can't be a president for NDC. And we want to be the president of Ghana and the National Democratic Congress. Your constitution should give you the green light first. Who has given you branch before. I've been an assemblyman, let alone an MP. How are you coming? You better join them.
In his address to the hundreds of NDC faithfuls gathered, former President John Dramani Mahama said the next NDC administration under his leadership will scrap the payment of ex gratia.
An unwavering desire to get things done in a no-frill that awaits the next government. There's so much to fix, there's so much to repair, and there's so much to heal. Ex gratia to members of the executive under Article 71 will be scrapped. And the necessary constitutional steps to abolish that payment will start in earnest in 2025. We will also begin the process of persuading the other arms of government other than the executive to accept the removal of these ex gratia payments.
Mr. Mahama also promised to have the BEC graduates select their preferred senior high schools after their results are released in order to avoid the...
With renewed vigor, we will work to restore confidence in all institutions of state so that our people will see their institutions to resolve this issue with the computerized placement. We should allow students to only complete their applications for SHS after they have received their BEC results. This will put them in a better position to know what their actual grades are and make them able to match them with the cut-off grades and raw scores of the senior high schools they wish to be admitted. And address the uninformed demands we currently see. It will also root out corruption and blatant discrimination from the school placement process.
So, former President John Dramani Mahama has been giving party delegates in the Volta region and indeed across the country reasons why he is the best candidate to represent the NDC once again in the general elections that which should be held in 2024. On the political front, John Dramani Mahama says he's listened them that he will address especially the logistical issues that have been raised. On the national front, the president has, the former president has two key things he's proposing. One of them is to scrap the ex gratia that is enjoyed by Article 71 office holders, and also to ensure that BECE holders are only allowed to select their schools after their results are already seen with the current system. Reporting for City News, my name is...
So that remark by the former president actually has raised a number of, concerns among run a lean 71 it's a major panacea to solving this particular issue, because one, we know of a number of calls pushing for the revision of emolument payment and all that. It's been in the system or in the pipeline for long. We've not seen real action there. And also how you are going to do it, because if you listen to some legal brains, you get a sense that it is not something that is easy to do. It requires a lot of
it's not entrenched. It's not an entrenched position in the constitution, so I don't even think it has to go through parliament to revise something like that,
which means that it has to be like a referendum.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a referendum too. So the president can, and some other people and some other stakeholders. I don't think ex gratia is that particular move by the chief resonated people as to why people who have done very little in terms of service to the country are taking that amount of money over the period all the time. So it's sort of like hit the right nerves yesterday, coming from a former president saying that he wants to relook at it when he becomes president again. I mean, I've always maintained that there's a need for politicians to strip out the lofty rhetorics, really, and replace it with calls for collective action, really, and responsible governance. So yesterday, I was really looking forward to the president's speech, former president's speech, and listened to him. I mean, it was quite interesting, some of the things he was saying. For some reason, he appears to be saying all the right thing. But then again, the question is it not a case of saying the right things?
I'm actually of a different opinion.
I mean, if you listen to him very carefully, I mean, talking about the fact that this government's management of the economy has not been the best. That is quite true. Other things he touched on to prove to be, I mean, like I'm saying, it hit the rightness for some. Whole conversation about the scrapping of ex gratia, which doesn't seem to make sense for them. It's because, can't you think about it? Someone is on the Council of State, goes to about 4 or 3 meetings, and is entitled to about 200,000 cedis plus excess cash. Somebody was also risking their life in the COVID-19 treatment center, and the person will retire, and even the payment of SNIT will become an issue. So, I mean, if you look at it on the face value, there seems to be some mismatch in terms of value for the person to be at the who's said to be at the receiving end. But I mean, all in all, yesterday it was quite interesting. Campaign launch didn't look like it was going to contest for a party contest. It looked more like a national campaign launch, if I've been honest.
Well, the party has been arguing.
Partly because the competition doesn't look too keen. It doesn't look like it's going to be very much keenly contested. It looks like I think up until this point, he's pretty much the presumptive candidate for the NDC. So,
but you have to fear delegates. Already of the was party,
like I'm saying,
and file delegates and all that.
Like I'm saying, it looked like a national event. It didn't look like an inter-party contest launch, and you can understand so, because I think his campaign has moved beyond the upcoming delegates. So,
well, the governing MPP has been reacting because they say that John Dramani Mahama has nothing new to really offer Ghanaians, and so he should give them a break. But let's see what happens on the grounds on May 13 when delegates of the National Democratic Congress gather at the various polling centers to elect their flag bearer. 4 people, we are told, are contesting for the NDC flag bearership race. Let's see what that will also mean when he is elected and then becomes president, and see how he will be able to go through with the scrapping of the payments of ex gratia. Users of liquefied petroleum gas lament the continuous hike in prices following an increase this week. We have that story and many others when we return. Do stay with us.
I passed by your favorite barbecue place and I got you something.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain level?
No, focus, Ayana.
Push harder.
I'm trying.
Oh, you've got to try harder.
I can't.
What I think is happening here is the usual bureaucratic nonsense.
They forced their way into the patient's room.
What? And they held the treatment over his head, sir. And you're not going to stop until
refugee destroy everything that is good and decent about this hospital. I'm just lost for words.
Thank you for rescuing me from that accident.
Welcome back. This is still CNR Extra here on CCTV. My name is Ni Lati here with Jude Mensa Duncan. In more stories this morning, there has been an increase in the prices of LPG on the market. Customers as well as consumers and even LPG marketers have raised concern about the recent upward adjustment. They want some taxes scrapped in order to have the prices reduced.
And bits following the increase in the cost of the product. Now, LPG prices saw another rise in the first pricing window of the month of March. Currently, a kilogram of LPG is going for 16 cedis, which is a cedi upward adjustment. Stakeholders like the LPG Marketers Association have lamented the amount of tax imposed on the product. During a visit to an LPG station in Accra, some customers of the product decided the continuous price hikes or decried rather the continuous price hikes recorded.
They came as some respite to consumers of the products. But unfortunately for customers who rely on liquefied petroleum gas, that is the LPG, for either domestic or commercial use, they have rather seen an opposite trend. And this is because for the first pricing window of the month of March, price of LPG has seen another adjustment. And this is a worry for many of these individuals. Well, currently, the LPG, which used to sell at 15 Ghana cedis per kilo, is now selling for 16 Ghana cedis per kilo at the various filling stations. And during our rounds, we saw some individuals who say that they have been forced by the situation to currently purchase food to pay more for the gas that the prices.
I don't expect that they will be making this thing, what do you call it, they will be increasing it. But now everything have changed. Even your pay is affecting your pay. I even bought half of it because I cannot, yes. The way I am expecting to buy, that's not how I think that it won't reach even 1 month. But I will manage it. When I get some money, then I will come and buy. When the gas is increasing, I think that the charcoal too, they have increased the price of the charcoal too. So we will weigh the two and see. It's becoming some way, you know. The way we want the prices to come down now is just heaping to the top. So we are pleading to the government to at least to reduce it for us.
First, no, me tobe 100 cedis to me the entry a month, but he said 200 cedis kra in a month. Nasa gas is there and crowd.
It's not just LPG consumers who have been impacted negatively by this upward adjustment of the price of the product. Well, that their businesses are taking a nosedive following the continuous adjustment of the prices of the commodity in previous times.
Patronage has been low It's not like previous market is ups and downs. It's not like we used to have it. It's not normal. People coming in has been, even if they come as we wish, it's not full content. They will buy around 14.5. You will buy 30 CDs, 40 CDs, just to Ghana. Meanwhile, it's about 222.
So a major stakeholder in this sector, that is the LPG Marketers Association, is worried about this continuous trend. They believe that if this persists, a lot of businesses may lose out, and this must be addressed immediately. The LPG Marketers Association's vice president has been telling us or recommending some solutions he thinks would work if government implements.
That is have called on government to immediately look at including LPG in the gold for oil deal so that it can also help bring the price of LPG down. We believe LPG is a product government must target in this deal. Effort should be made to ensure that this gold for oil or oil for gold included immediately. Otherwise, because the experts are telling us that LPG price on the international market will keep escalating, even though diesel and petrol prices are coming down.
So many stakeholders, particularly those in the downstream, are not enthused about the current trend. They want some relief to be provided by the government in the coming days. Reporting for City News, my name is Kweku Ediamansa.
So all stakeholders in the value chain are actually not too happy with the increase in LPG prices. Businesses, individual households, and even the Marketers Association have really raised concerns about how this upward adjustment is really going to affect them. And interestingly, until recently, I didn't even know that you can even go to the LPG station and stakeholders are pushing for environmentally friendly use of, fuel as far as household and businesses are concerned. We are discouraging people from the use of charcoal and then also firewood due to their contribution. Cylinder recirculation, module was introduced to encourage people to resort to the use of LPG other than some other traditional, forms of energy sources. And if you introduce such a policy or you advocate for such a social behavioral change, you don't also make the cost of the commodity expensive. That will deter people from. So I think it's in order if people are calling for a reduction in the number of taxes. And how the price build up in most of our petroleum products are in this country. A larger portion of the price build up is usually taxes and all that.
I mean, yeah, true. It has dark consequences on the living conditions of people. When you increase the tax, it affects the ordinary people because they look at it. Go back to the Ghana Living Standard Report compiled by the Ghana Statistical Service. As of December last year, 16% of users of LPG consumers was on a decline by 16%. So you get the impression that more people are switching from the use of LPG to charcoal. And this has very serious sustainability-wise, is not the most efficient, and considering all the things that we use LPG for, I think government needs to go because it has very dark consequences on the economy. I mean, if care is not taken, from the next time you see the prices of food just skyrocket like that because a lot of people who sell foods depend on LPG, and it has dark consequences really. So I hope government
short
Now, management of the Tamale Teaching Hospital says it has restocked However, it was only anticipating a shortage owing to technical challenges faced by its supplier. Checks at the hospital by City News indicate that suppliers have begun supplying medical oxygen to the facility to augment internal production. Our correspondent in the northern region is Diana Ungwan, and she's been following this story. Diana, take it up.
Last week, the Tamale Teaching Hospital had some challenges with its medical oxygen supply, and the management issued a statement confirming the incident and assured clients that they were working to resolve it. According to management, the challenge was as a result of some technical challenges that its supplier experienced with electricity supply. And they gave assurance that on 21st of February they were going to resolve the issue. The Tamale Teaching Hospital is a major referral hospital that serves the 5 regions of the North, Oti region and parts of the Middle Belt. The facility has struggle for basic consumer. Here to talk to the PRO for the facility to find out the update or what the current situation is regarding oxygen in the hospital.
We gave Tuesday in our release that by Tuesday, close work by Tuesday, we would have solved this particular issue. And then we are very happy to inform the public again that we really stood was in the hospitals around. And then the good thing is that our supplier is able to restore the power challenges, and so everything is normal now.
He also disputed claims that the deaths which occurred during that period was oxygen related.
Somebody to just say that this person died because there wasn't oxygen. In the first place, we are saying that we didn't run out of oxygen. So if we talk about deaths, we cannot verify that. We know as a teaching hospital, we definitely will have some deaths, maybe in some whatever situation. Yes, so it is not true that even if we had registered some deaths on that particular day, we cannot wholly blame it on the challenge we have with oxygen supply.
He has assured the general public that the hospital has enough oxygen to take care of its patients. Reporting from Tamale, I am Dinah Ungwan for City News.
So at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, there is enough supply of oxygen, contrary to some reports that were arrived last week. And for any health facility, one of the pivots at which its credibility revolves is the kind of service provision it offers, clientele. And if you are able to only do that if you have the requisite resources. And so if you look at this particular story, for example, it will be quite problematic for a hospital. I think it's not the first time there have been reports of, the shortage of oxygen at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And if it keeps on going that way, it's going to affect for, a health facility to gain notoriety for some of these issues. And so if this is what management of the facility is saying, and it has assured, some of the clients that there is enough oxygen supply, I think that is the way to go. Because look, imagine running an emergency healthcare service and then there is shortage of oxygen. It will lead to a lot of cases of mortalities and all that. And in the northern region, the Tamale Teaching Hospital serves, I think, all the 5 regions of the north.
I mean, go back to the rule of threes, really. The rule of threes. So clearly states that you can go 3 minutes. You can only live 3 minutes without oxygen, then 3 days without food, 3 days without water, and three weeks without food. So the rule of 3. Whatever the situation is at the Tamale Hospital is resolved as soon as possible. I was listening to a member of parliament for Tamale North, and Alasan Suini, and for him, his major concern in health facilities there was the lack of childhood vaccines, really, and that is causing a huge problem in the area. So we thank God that there's no oxygen problem in the Tamale Hospital, but from what we've been seeing and reading in the news, there's clearly a lack of vaccines for the Tamale area in terms of treating measles and other related
I think
diseases.
it's largely nationwide.
So exactly, and I mean, from Alasan Suini, people are not, children are not going to school because they are being affected by measles and they are home, running temperature, running nose, and it's causing quite a lot of problems. So we want to plead with the relevant health authorities to still put in place the necessary measures to tackle this. We thank God that there's no oxygen shortage in Tamale, but for other areas where we are lacking, we should put in place the necessary measures to curb all of those.
All right, so you are still watching CNR Extra here on City TV. My name is Neela Telati here with Jude Mensa Duncan. Still ahead on the show, municipal chief executives and assembly members in the Greater Accra region have been deployed to the Tema Metropolis to aid in cleanliness ahead of the 66th Independence Day celebration. Stay with us, we have more for you after this.
Pig feet.
Ghana is a country that's full of historical antecedents and rich cultural heritage. What is a rich cultural heritage? Ghanaian supporters, and we are here to celebrate an aspect of our Ghanaianness with the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar, happening live from the 25th to the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Come, let's treat ourselves to delectable, authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the northern, the middle, and the southern zones of the country that reflect our true cultural diversity. While at it, we'll be jamming to genuine Ghanaian music amidst games, competitions, storytelling, and so much more. Interested vendors of indigenous foods are invited to register. Don't let this be another missed opportunity. Call 0205-973-973 to book a stand and be part of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar 2023. Anyamime, the country make hoto. So come, let's enjoy some good food, resounding music, heartfelt camaraderie, and remind ourselves why Ghana is still our home at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar on the 25th and the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the AMA from 8 a.m. each day. The Back to Your Village Food Bazaar is powered by City TV with support from City FM and is sponsored by Voltic Ghana Limited and Malta Guinness.
Ola Hansen Lane in Tesano here in Accra. Now I want to take you to Tema because yesterday there was an environmental exercise to make the metropolis more congenial as Ghana prepares to mark its 66th Independence Day on Monday.
initiative which seeks to rid the city of filth ahead of the 66th Independence Day celebration scheduled to take place on March 6, 2023. The following report
started with an assurance from the Tema mayor that the Tema metropolis will be rid of filth as it prepares to host the regional 66th Independence Day celebration on March 6, 2023.
So like what you know, where 3 days is for Operation Clean Your Frontage within the Tema metropolis, and we are starting today. Today we have 24 compassion trucks here. We have 650 people drawn from the various security agencies, and then also all the MMDs are here, the 29 of them, we are all here, and we are starting the exercise right here in Tema. One major area that we also put a special focus on is around the motorway toll booth area, where we have a lot of these trucks parked there. In fact, today, this morning, is starting from there. And then we expect to actually tow all these big trucks, which are parked around the toll booth end of the motorway, to ensure that none of these trucks park there again, creating the nuisance and then the nuisance that is creating around the toll booth end of the motorway within Tema. So this is a major highlight.
Which forms part of the Operation Clean Your Frontage initiative, saw the deployment of over 600 persons. Per the initiative's bylaw, persons are mandated to clean their
Misremo, Ubianco Papraya, Ompranim, Omfa Bola Ningua, Can Beba Besisa, Moanyan is Sadia, and Milano Tressa, SCAD, Samansama Bremo. Mutuaka. Mammy business, yes, 200 Ghana. Ebe how? Na upra 5 minutes, na 100 Ghana no kutokuma say. Anamebwa. You bet me I sana. Mr. Mumuma Sisia the Emperor, Infangua near Messisa.
This was echoed by Regional Minister Henry Quarte as he visited some selected communities to inspect the progress of the exercise.
Now, I want brooms and I want everybody working now. Clean your frontage, that's all. Please, let's get going now.
Chief executives of various assemblies and assembly members were deployed across the metropolis to aid in the exercise.
The announcement that we did for the past 3 days is yielding results because they know they have to join us. Apart from the 6 months, it's something that we have to continue. Operation Clean Your Frontage has come for us to own the cleaning of our frontage in the Agates. So I think they bought into the idea, and I'm sure forever we'll keep it clean. We'll keep the community clean.
Key among the areas visited were Tema Community 1, Tema Newtown, and Tema Toll Plaza. In some of these areas, inhabitants were captured cleaning their frontages, but others raised concerns about the unwillingness
Day celebration that they are going to host the region. But I was about taking on the authorities till I heard one of the officials say that they've admitted that this really has to continue. Cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness, and then a speak and span environment is also healthy for residents. And so I was just concerned and worried that they have reduced this exercise to the celebration. But I think by and large, we need to continue with this exercise. Let's not take the credit away from the Greater Accra Regional Minister, who is actually spearheading this particular initiative. But beyond the celebration on Monday, there should be that concerted effort. There should be that sense to ensure that they continue. Because recently, if you go to Tema, the beauty is gone. And even earlier this week, we were talking about the fact that articulated truck drivers have abandoned their trucks along the motorway and all that. Jude.
I mean, it's a good initiative, no two ways about that. Only that it appears a very perfunctory initiative for me. I mean, so what if the Independence Day celebration wasn't going to happen? We will not have our frontage being clean. Some people say the whole idea of celebrating our independence in other areas, really, aside the state event, which happen in Ho on March 6th, is unnecessary. It's a waste of public funds, and such monies could be pushed into other government initiatives. I tend to side towards that kind of argument more. I don't think hosting multiple state functions in the name of an Independence Day celebration is a way to go, considering all that is happening within our economy right now. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that it's not necessary, but the multiple celebrations in other areas, especially in the current economic crunch we find ourselves. So, I mean, I hope beyond the Independence Day celebration in Tema, we will sustain efforts to clean our areas and not this perfunctory event.
So essentially, Tema must regain its Kwame Nkrumah glory after the Independence Day. But thank you so much, Jude Mensah Duncan, for helping with the discussion today. Latte. Many thanks indeed for watching, and keep staying with us here on City TV.